Welcome to 1407 Gray Malkin Lane. This is the living memory of the X-Men. Don't let anyone tell you different. Okay, I'm joined by Cory, Master Jarl. We are the AKPC. We will be talking about this week in X-Men. We have 2 books, Rogue and Gambit, the limited series by Stephanie Phillips, and X-Force by Ben Percy.
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like we have to get the X-Force first because that's kind of like the Return of the Jedi. I feel like that
it's not a mini
guy. They're like, we're doing Jedi, huh?
Yeah, it's not a mini. Yeah, let's deal with the ongoing first.
First of all, how are you guys doing today?
Fine. I'm in the middle of online shopping for my niece because I want she deserves something from her silly old uncle that's not a Christmas present.
Sure.
And I have never realized how expensive stuffed toys are.
Inflation.
I actually texted my parents like, I'm sorry I went through those stuffed animal phases. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, what about you, MJ? Everything good?
I'm alive, you know.
Yeah, can't.
After reading that X-Force
book. It is not frozen over completely because of all the weather going on right now.
Ugh, it's so cold.
It's been warm today. Hopefully spring is here sooner than later.
We're not gonna get spring till like May. Ugh. All right, jumping into it. X-Force 38. What did we think?
God.
He's been on the book for almost 4 years now. This is a
Deadpool. Yeah, Deadpool is very, very chill. I'm surprised Omega Red has not twisted off his head after every issue. You talk too much. I liked what happened with the kid, but I don't want him being the team's adopted kid. I don't want him anywhere near Mr. Furry McFurryson because we don't know what's going to happen to him.
Oh, you mean
send him to send that little kid to the really, 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 really tall lady who takes care of the nursery. What's her name?
Dr. Cecilia Reyes?
No, the really, really tall lady who, when she fights, her power is giving people vertigo and makes them vomit.
Lost.
There we go.
Lost.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So like Grace Jones on stilts looking lady. The Grace Jones on stilts looking lady.
Oh, God.
I
didn't care for this book, you guys. Like, this book was just... It was a filler issue. Like, nothing. Like, we know what happened. And I feel like Percy's kind of like, he's circling the drain. I think he's leaving soon. I really believe he's leaving soon because we're getting all his books, like all his little plots are starting to like be resolved. All we need is the Colossus thing and the Beast thing, and we're good. But he could probably stretch that out to like...
No, there's one big plot hole that frustrates me every time it's kind of mentioned or like looped around, and that is Kid Omega.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's 3.
What else do we need to know about Kid?
Where is he? What happened to him?
What happened to him?
Yeah. Quentin was placed somewhere off panel.
They mentioned
no. He died. He died, but his DNA his save file is gone. Like they can't bring him back.
I can already tell you who I think the guilty person is with it. When in doubt, suspect Dr. McCoy.
Well, they kind of imply he did it himself, I think. I think that was kind of the implication because he was like, he couldn't find his identity, so he deleted his identity. I thought
suicide? Mutant suicide?
Well, maybe. I thought he was just going to come back and he's gonna change himself or whatever. I don't really know what's going on with it. It's been so long that it's hard to remember, and so it's frustrating every time they mention it. It's like I don't know, like why aren't you going looking for Wolverine when he was missing? Why aren't you looking for Kid Omega? It's frustrating.
Well, yeah, yeah, and I was like, okay, no follow up when the last issue they handcuffed Beast, and I'm like,
Yeah, what happened with
okay.
that? They never went back to
Yeah.
it.
The only thing I can deduce respectfully is because Percy came into comics from novels, he's good at chopping up like cut to credits, like will they make it scenes, fade to black. But what I feel, and I think Bill agrees with me on this too, writers who come to comics from novels, essays, etc.,
Right.
they fall into a thing of, okay, wrap it up. I know
Seriously.
you're trying to stretch the story out to make it worth people's money, yada yada yada, but bookend it, please. Can it, bottle it.
It's been almost a
However
year
you want to
too.
call it.
It's
Yeah.
been almost a year. It's almost a year for the Quentin Quire story. It's been over like going on 2 years about the whole Colossus thing, and the Beast
And
thing
the
that's been going on.
ongoing thread is why is Dr. McCoy doing this stuff? We're saying this stuff. Literally, like how he decides to end that with McCoy and Colossus.
Yeah,
I'm literally waiting for those two little quirks to be put in, and then I'll decide whether or not having all the trades is worth it. Because right now, all I'm feeling is, okay, come on. I know you can write comics. I know you can jump back into novels, everything, because he's published novels in between writing comics.
he did that audio Wolverine book that was really good. I think he's really good with Wolverine,
podcast.
but not in a team setting. Like really.
Yeah, like Wolverine The Long Night was really good, and they got the Thorin actor from Lord of the Rings to voice it. And I was like, no, a little limey again, but then when you're just hearing the podcast thing, and whoever was coaching him did a really good job with summoning Helen Logan. But either way, I'm not nerd angry with all this X-Force stuff, but with my developing critics muscles, I'm like, Mr. Percy, with all due respect, you've got the wine bottles still open. Put the corks in them, please.
Yeah.
Put the corks in them, please.
That's very well put. What do you think, MJ? Like, what do you think about everything that's been going on? Because we're going on almost 4 years, and we've only had like.
Oh, by the way, I rest on X-Force. You can.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The Deadpool grows on me, and then he gets annoying, and then he grows on me, and he gets annoying. This issue,
that's the secret. I think that's the secret recipe here.
I agree. I felt like this issue was probably just the right amount. I wish they set up where it's gonna go from here. Like, yeah, I don't know. It seems like we've now defeated the main villain for the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Now we don't know where it goes from here.
I feel like with the whole Beast thing, I think that's supposed to be the finale. I think like he kind of rushed it a few places, and like he's course correcting. I think Ben Percy likes to course correct, but also this is the kind of guy he likes to call people who criticize his work dickheads. So,
well, yeah, there he's hyper. Artists can be hyper assertive, like I will not answer or accept any criticism. That's just how some writers, artists of whatever
No,
pop
no,
culture
no. You're
genre.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They do that. But like, if you can't,
Well, some do. Some do.
like you need sometimes you need somebody to outside of your circle to see your faults. Like Chris Claremont has a bunch of faults. Hickman has a bunch of faults. Percy has a bunch of like there's not a perfect writer out there. So
I'm really nervous. Speaking of Hickman, when I saw the Ultimates announcement,
God, I'm so done with that.
I'm like, so that's what came into your idea when people did into your notebooks when people didn't want to follow your strict timeline for X thing, which confirms my theory that when he starts to get bored and he feels that he's not selling his ideas well enough, he starts wanting to summon new ideas. And I don't know. I probably will never meet him. I don't think he'll ever come to Cleveland Comic-Con. But with all of what Bill's learned about him through the grapevine, what I just said makes a lot of sense. That where once he starts to get bored, bing, he starts jotting stuff down in his notebooks if he does have a notebook.
I think my main thing with Hickman is that he doesn't he says he knows continuity, but he doesn't really know continuity. Like the whole thing, the penance. He says I'm a Generation X fan, and then when he gets something so detrimental to a Generation X character, I take that. To quote the great Michael Jordan, I took it personally.
Yeah, my view with my developing critics muscles is I've only watched and listened to one writer's opinion on continuity, and that's Jed McKay when Bill interviewed him. By the way, may all the planets align for a successful Avengers tenure for him. He has much. He has so much to clean up, but until I hear other opinions, my default opinion on how comics writers interpret continuity is like a frenemy. You're like, okay, this is what all has come before me. What do I have to put in my book bag? And what can I make work for me? What can I make work for me kind of thing.
Okay.
It's a frenemy relationship, I think, with continuity. Most comics writers.
I'm sorry for jumping in for you, MJ. What did you like? What are your thoughts?
Sorry.
Oh no, yeah. So one thing I kind of liked actually was at one point in this comic, Domino reflects on when her face was scarred when she was looking at I don't know his name, the Gene guy.
Oh,
the Peacock guy.
Just say Dr. Monroe, Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, the Gene engineer.
I'll just call him Dr. Peacock. Just for
Dr. Peacock, actually, that's good. Yeah, Dr. Peacock.
NBC.
And so she looks at his face and she remembers her face, and then she feels. I think she felt kind of stupid that she kept that scar on her face for so long because she's looking at this guy with a scar that can't get rid of it, and she was able to get rid of hers at any time and whatnot. I liked it. It felt real. It felt like good writing.
Yeah, I did like that. Where I did like that. Where we've with what's Domino's full name? Because I like to call characters by their full name. Ms. Nina.
I thought it'd be like a Latin name.
No, actually, a long time it was thought to be Beatrice, but like her name is Nina. Neena Thurman.
Uma Thurman. But yeah, we've seen how hardcore Domino can be since she was shepherded out, and now people like Gail Simone have kind of polished her, soften her edges a bit. But that angry former experimented child is still there. Gail Simone heightened that and everything when she took care of Domino, and that's how they handled her was how people want to see Wolverine behave like, yeah, I am like this. I am a mercenary who does what needs to be done. But no, I'm not opening this door and she sicks all the creations on Dr. Peacock, which is something which yeah, it's still very hardcore, and I'm not so sure if I would have let it slide if I was the editor, but I'm like, this is something that Wolverine would tell her, yeah, it's harsh, but you did the right thing.
Okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah,
it's something that Wolverine would do. It's something that Wolverine would do.
Yeah, but like I just don't like how Wolverine likes to think like he's everybody's daddy. Like everybody has to, like, he has to have an opinion on what everybody does. Like, oh, I'm the only killer on the team. Shut up. Okay, you killed your son. Who are you to tell anybody anything?
When I study his character programming, I like to think that their subconscious thing of, I'm merely 200 something years old. I can have an opinion on everyone, every place, and anything.
And not to mention, he could be everyone's dad. We don't know.
Come on, man. He ain't like just he doesn't even like his own kids. Okay, so like, how are we feeling about X-Force? Like, is it a pickup? Is it not a pickup? Like, what do you guys think?
If I was to tell new nerds when I go to Cleveland Comic Con, by the way, I'm getting my ticket ready. I would say, with what all I just said about Percy, I'd say wait for the next writer to like come on, like new writer, new everything, and wait for the reviews on how the landing was stuck and everything before you go back and read from the beginning.
It seems like it seems with the upcoming solicits that he's about to add talent, Laura, old woman Laura. If you put it, you think the acronym, it comes out to OWL.
Yeah, I saw the cover where Hank is fighting Logan. I'm like, well, okay, I do hope I get some bump of that. But yeah, I would say wait for the reviews about how the ending was stuck. Wait for the new writer to come on to the book, and then read backwards if you would so choose. It's been so up down with me on this. Percy can write. I know that, but we just talked about some of the things that people who come to comics from novels have to work on and sometimes have to catch for themselves. Novels, essays, etc. Like, for example, when Bill fell off Ta-Nehisi Coates' Captain America tenure, you know, his own wife said, yeah, he can't finish a novel to save his life either.
That's so
he stretches his novels out too long too.
It's like, oh, I'm done with this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess moving on to the good one, Rogue and Gambit. How we feel, fellas? Rogue and Gambit.
It was pretty good. It wasn't anything exceptional. It was mostly just I guess it was build up, but
yeah,
I don't know. It was a little stale because the next issue is going to be awesome. The next issue is going to be fantastic. They're going to have to go rescue him.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's going to be fun. But I don't know. The conversation in the room with Destiny felt a little hollow. It's like, how long was she in there for? You know, was she in there? You know.
That was
fun. I'm having trouble figuring out when this is set because it seems like, yeah, they're mentioning Krakoa and everything, but Manifold is off panel and acting with case files like he's an Avenger. So I'm like,
he is an Avenger. He was an Avenger.
So when is this set? During Hickman's Avengers years? When?
Oh no. See, remember when Manifold quit? What he quit Sword?
Sword?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is like
Okay. So Manifold is just like
moonlighting.
A private mutant detective almost.
No, he's still working for Sword. He's a part-time Avenger, but he still works for the new Sword.
Right.
Under
Cable Prime.
WizKid, whoever's running new Sword.
I think I think it's WizKid. I think WizKid is running it.
It felt so wonky. His not liking Krakoa because like WizKid and Cable are still running Sword. You still need all the funding and supplies from Mutant Kind. Why are you blaming the council for Abigail Brand's mess ups? Abigail Brand tricked everybody. You're gonna hate the human governments and the alien governments too? Like,
because when in doubt, blame the people where the buck stops. And maybe in his mind, in spite of all their combined powers, you're the ones who instituted this form of government. You're the ones who are pulling the levers. You should have caught it.
Manifold should have caught it. He was there.
No, but I don't think anybody. I think the only one to blame is Abigail, because you can't blame the council because Abigail came to them with a plan. She was like, "Hey, I got this, this, and this." And they're like, "Okay, all right, let's do this." Because Abigail has never really betrayed anybody before. Yes, they know that how she gets down, but like, it seemed like everything they were doing was benefiting Krakoa. So I didn't really see.
And they did reject her as a council member.
They did, because you cannot have 3 conniving, scheming ladies on the council at the same time. Do not put Abigail. And actually, you know what? I would blame Destiny.
We do.
I would blame Destiny because she could see the future. How come she couldn't see that? Destiny is just like, you could blame her for everything, really.
Future sight is the most frustrating ability because it can be argued either way. She let all this happen, or she didn't see it happen. But each is a valid argument.
Hey, you want to see my impression, Destiny? Hey, look, I can see.
Smack.
Right? She's terrible. I really liked. I thought it was okay. I liked the whole beginning where Gambit was drunk, just getting his ass whooped. But I understand why he got his ass whooped, because he was drunk. He's not as fast. He's not as quick as he would be if he was sober.
And he's a crunchy granola Cajun who probably drinks a lot.
Not really. Not really. But also, there's one piece of dialogue I don't think nobody's talking about. It's like, we had to talk about this. Like, babe, we never did this sober. We never had this talk sober. So I'm like, wait, are you saying that Rogue smokes weed, or she drinks? I think they share a joint. I think if it ever came down to it, he rolls up, she takes a huff.
I see your theory and raise you this. I'm gonna steal something that influencer Kevin Smith believes. If I got in my head to talk one of the editors into telling a writer to turn these people into potheads, no. Doctor Strange and Clea, they smoke stuff.
Um,
Doctor
I think
Strange
Rachel
and his
does
wife.
too. I think Rachel does too.
Rogue gives me the vibe though that she would quit smoking when she joined the X-Men.
Yeah.
Like, but then now she came back. She wanted to go on vacation, relax, and fucking Gambit's out here starting shit.
I don't even know if he's starting shit though. I mean, like, it's the thieves and assassins guild. Like, it's on site. It's always on site.
Well, yeah, and isn't the head of the Assassin's Guild that blonde Southern lady called Belladonna? And didn't she? And
his
didn't
ex-wife?
she? And didn't she and Remy have a thing way before I started reading?
Oh, they had a whole thing. They were they were in love. They got married. Gambit. Gambit had to kill. Gambit was he had to fight her brother, and he killed him. He won, but he ended up killing him, and then he just he left. So I mean, but I don't even I don't even know if their marriage is even binding. Like I don't know. He was a kid. He was a kid. He does stuff. But also, I really liked how Destiny is the evil stepmother, and Gambit's the only person who sees right through her, and Rogue continuously allows herself to get played. That's I like how they
I do. I did like some of that. I like the whole thing where she's like, "No, let me talk to her," but Rogue eventually starts to because in the end, I think there's still a part of Ms. Anna Marie LeBeau who's like, but this is one of the people who actually did give me some sort of family. Let me just save this little bit of myself to still be open. But yeah, someone like Destiny would not like someone like Remy LeBeau.
because he sees right through her. That's the reason.
Yeah.
Because people who you can't control. Destiny and Mystique, they love Rogue because she can be controlled, and they know how to control her.
That's
Gambit,
probably
and like,
where
was it?
Destiny has mentioned that she's seen some type of future for Rogue, some type of grand future for her, and maybe that future involves, well, the fact that Destiny is trying to achieve that future would suggest it's a future that Destiny herself wants, and the only future Destiny wants is one that Mystique apparently exists in or whatever. So ultimately, you're correct that she wants to control Rogue, but she also wants something great from her.
Yeah.
And I just think it'd be so incredible if that greatness is achieved because of Gambit.
Oh,
so she might still get her way. I don't want it to be simply controlling her. I want it to be some type of feat, some type of action. Maybe it's Rogue's child is what will save Mystique, and she thinks that she has to have this child with somebody else.
I love that. I really like that because this just means Gambit needs to get Rogue pregnant, and it's going to be a spite baby, a spite baby. It's like she's gonna hate him, but she's gonna love those grandkids. She's gonna love them.
But Raven and Irene would be like, "Is it a girl?"
Oh,
good for you.
Actually, funny that you mentioned that. I did an interview earlier this week with a Nightcrawler aficionado, and we were just talking like if Mystique and Destiny met Nightcrawler's child with the Scarlet Witch, she'd be like, "Oh, you're the child I always wanted," and you can see Kurt like, "The fuck."
So Anna Marie and Kurt are essentially half siblings if you want to apply genealogy principles to it, right?
Adopted. Actually, and
Oh,
actually, not even that. I would say that Mystique is not his mom. She may have like bird. He may have came out of her, but she never displayed even a fraction of motherly affection ever.
what about Azazel? What
Oh,
about Azazel?
Azazel's only the better parent by a little bit, because when Mystique threw baby Kurt off the waterfall, who caught him? She thought it was Nightcrawler's powers manifesting early. No, that was Azazel catching him, and then giving Kurt to essentially one of his side chicks that he's dealing with right now, Margali. And if you're reading how Legion of X, that's where we are.
Okay. All right. You've got me caught up because because like I feel like Azazel would interrupt what's going on with Kurt now. Like, look, if anyone's gonna manipulate my son, it's gonna be his like hell lord father. I'm resetting the situation because I don't like my son being manipulated badly. That seems like something Azazel would do because he is a hell lord, and hell lords like to make deals and manipulate.
I don't think he's a Hell Lord. I think he's from Morocco. Because hear me out. Morocco's been around. The Iraqi have been around for thousands of years. We've seen this. We're Apocalypse. Thousands of years. The whole thing with the separation with Amith happened centuries ago. Okay, roll me on this one. Kate, all right. What is something we know about Nightcrawler? He's all about theatrics. He likes to go over the top. He's a thespian. Where do you think he gets it from? His dad. His dad knows.
Azazel is that theatrical?
Oh yeah. Read Amazing X-Men. It came out a few years ago. It was right when Kurt had died and he was in heaven. Azazel is the villain, and he has a pirate ship. He's going full Captain Hook. It's great.
I like it because it would explain why Azazel is so powerful. He's one of those original Okaran mutants.
Exactly.
It would explain why Nightcrawler was born looking the way he looks, similar to Solomon. He was born looking the way he looked. It seems like a lot of Iraqi are born with appearances.
Right.
I like that. That's a good theory.
Thank you.
You should spread it more because it might catch.
I honestly believe it. Like, that's my own personal theory, because if Claremont's gonna push that, originally I wanted to make Destiny and Mystique Kurt's parents, which really wouldn't make any sense, and it would make his life and his powers one, it would make his life harder, and two, he would look completely different. He wouldn't have a tail. He wouldn't have the two-fingered hands. He wouldn't be able to teleport. He would be like a blue-skinned prophet. Like, he could shape-shifting prophet. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, with Azazel, it does make a lot of sense because Mystique is not theatrical. She's not fun. She is not like. And Destiny wasn't even around. Like, who gave birth to him? Like, who would be able to give? Yeah, that's just me. Azazel is an Iraqi mutant, and the whole thing with the batteries that he wanted, he was doing his best to bring the Iraqi to this plane of existence. He had his own plans. Like, he wasn't trying to wait for Apocalypse. I bet you he doesn't even like Apocalypse. It's like, I don't really mess with him.
You'd have to be on the group of Iraqi that stayed behind when they cut it in half. When they cut the island in half, he'd be on the Iraqi that got cut and separated.
Exactly.
So yeah, he would hate Apocalypse. He probably took off the hell to get more power to maybe beat Apocalypse or something.
Yeah.
There's a whole story there that needs to be told.
Exactly. There's a bunch of X-Men stories that people are just like overlooking. They're not really thinking about it because if it's one thing, it's another. Like I really like this book. Like, yeah, like you said, MJ, the book is it's a setup. This should have had everything here should have happened like should have been hinted in other books. It's like, oh, if you want to know what they're going to do, check this series out. You know.
Yeah, I didn't have any continuity bubbles pop up in here.
I think this happened. Like, remember when what it was an X-Men issue where Sync had mentioned like, it's really hard to pretend like you don't hear what Rogue and Destiny are talking about. You just gotta like walk right past. I I I think it's from X-Men. I don't know exactly what issue, but I think it's from X-Men because Rogue hasn't been doing anything since. So I think like this was set like probably like 3 months ago, like before Judgment Day. Yeah, I get that, before Judgment Day. And this seems like, and also you got to remember these books, like the timeline, time wise, you can get like a 3 issue arc, and it's all happening within like a couple hours. Like it's just our perspective of it. See, like the Dark Phoenix saga, that was 10 issues, but all of that happened within like 3 days. 3 days.
Do you remember post House of X when they tried to have continuity, where they told you which comics you have to read in which order?
Yeah.
To conserve continuity and timeline.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was a mess, but I kind of miss it because now it's, especially with Sinister and it's year 1, 10, and 100. It's or whatever or well, 10, 100, and
100,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so confusing with other stuff too, and
but I don't know.
It's getting a little.
My thing with Sinister that like essentially he's stuck in a save point and he can't get out. Like really, if somebody was around and they saw all this, like, you know what? I'm gonna destroy all this so he can't go back. Because
it's funny that the only ones that want to keep this timeline are Destiny, Mystique, and
the Sinister
Tavares. Even everybody. Well, yeah, I guess they too. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Actually, yeah, they would want it to stay too. They don't want it to go back.
No.
You're right. They would want this timeline to stay as well.
I'm just saying. I just want to know, like, I just wish the entire X line was going with this, because I would love to see where Legion of X is with this. I would love to see where Captain Britain falls with this. Like, are they trying
maybe
to
1 month? If they went more than 1 month where every single thing was involved in the event, I'd get tired real quick.
Oh well, I mean, I just want to see like how are the Marauder, like, okay, we saw Kitty. We saw Kitty. How is her team doing with this? How are the Marauders? How are how is Legion of X dealing with this? Where is Legion, in fact? What's going? Oh, here's a good one.
Right. There's a lot of good stories here. My problem is none of them hold any weight. Say Cyclops defeats Captain America in one-on-one combat.
Right.
No, you won't be able to, and then this all gets reset. You can never argue Captain America can beat Cyclops or whatever. You can never, I don't know, nothing holds weight. Whatever Storm does means nothing because none of this holds weight. However they get the Thor hammer and whatever feats they achieve, it's almost like an Elseworld story. So it's kind of annoying.
Yeah. But you know what? They don't have Elseworld stories. They just call it multiverse, alternate realities. It's weird. I give you that. It sucks. You know what also sucks? The New Mutants.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of shitty stuff. Marauders, the hit and miss.
Yeah.
Excalibur.
Oh God. We wanted to like those books. We really tried. We really tried.
Something I was going to say about X-Force earlier, actually, I'm going to bring it up real quick right now.
Go for it.
Is I wish X-Force had more of a purpose. The Marauders need to give up their objective and give it to X-Force.
Yeah.
Locating missing mutants should be the job of X-Force, not some random pirate group.
Yeah,
you know?
I get that. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I like that.
I'd rather clear. They can do a lot of shady shit on the side. It's X-Force. Of course, they're going to do shady stuff.
Sure.
But I wanted them to have like a noble purpose that they just don't have. They serve no good purpose, which they need. They need a good purpose. You could get rid of X-Force and it would not affect the runnings of Krakoa.
Not at all.
No.
It really wouldn't. All right, so next week we only have 2 books again, but they're better. They're better. We got Storm and the Brotherhood, and we have, check this out. You're gonna love this, MJ. X-Men, because they're dealing with the Brood. I'm sorry, we got Nightcrawlers next week, and we got X-Men with the Brood. The Brood is very cool. Like I really like this X-Men story. I'm digging it.
They're essentially this world's xenomorphs.
Yeah,
they're fun though.
Yeah, because Chris Claremont was watching Alien, and he's like, "Oh, this would be a really good story." Chris Claremont, obvious biter, obvious copier of other people's styles.
What I like about the Xenomorphs,
good writers steal. Good writers steal.
They break the common trope in Marvel where everything just needs to be bigger and stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Like Xenomorphs aren't bigger; they just have endless numbers.
Yeah,
they'll come at you with a horde the size of galaxies,
right?
Not one giant Xenomorph the size of 1,000 stars, like Galactus or whatever. You know, I like the Xenomorphs. I like a horde tactic.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I wish we got more out of the whole thing though.
Out of the what?
Out of Brew being king. I wish he would have achieved some type of something, like maybe establish some type of nation, and then everything went to shit. But it seemed like he didn't do anything. He didn't achieve any substantial change.
Well, we don't know anything.
Really.
Well, we're not told. Well, you know, there wasn't any update on Brew because nobody else wanted to. I'm not sure what it is like in the X office, but like nobody wanted to write Brew. It kind of feel, or like there was no update on Brew, if that makes sense. Like we don't know.
He should have made it.
We don't know what his deal is right now. Huh?
He should have had a bunch of He should have had a bunch of babies with the queens, and then now made a new generation of Xenomorphs that have like feelings.
Compassion. What if that's what he was doing?
Yeah, but I hope he did something.
Like he's busy because he was busy fucking.
It's his only chance in his entire life he would have, so he better took it.
Oh god, Orcus is. Oh god. Okay, I actually went up a little ahead a little bit and looked up the next couple of covers for X-Men. Apparently, Orcus is going to be making their plan. They're making their move. I'm with it. With it. Okay. Yeah, I was looking it up. But we got Nightcrawlers and we have X-Men next week. We did have New Mutants, but
it's hard to care. It's hard to care about Orcus when Iron Man could take them out in like 2 seconds. You know?
Yeah, and it's weird too. And I hate that cop out. Oh, we let them do their own thing. We don't step in when we're not needed. Well, Cap, where were you? Where was this mentality with Avengers versus X-Men? Where was that mentality? Because it seems like you like to pick and choose. You Karen. No, actually, what would be the male? Chad. Chad. Oh, my name is Chad. Can't take you seriously.
He is a Chad.
Yeah, such a Chad. Okay. Like for Cory, MJ, I'm 1407. We are the AKPC. Hopefully next week we'll have a silver, but he said he will not do this because this week was filler. And he doesn't do filler. Oh,
Yeah.
we should totally just get on his head about it next week.
I don't even know what is filler and not filler anymore. I don't even know what is. I thought Orcus was the main story, and now Sinister is the main story. I don't know what is canon and not canon.
I don't know what it is anymore. Oh, but we are the AKBC, and we'll see you soon.